Etika, all because Keem overestimated the amount of money H3 made. Keemstar has openly lied about me. Keemstar has refused to help fellow YouTubers in the past when I asked him via DM because they had been critical of him in the past. The dude is a slimeball. So is Ethan Klein for going after his sponsors and blaming him for Etika's suicide. Deji's girlfriend Dunya says, video of the year. 8 Thoughts says, the real winners today are both Ethan and Keem. They'll make a ton of money from this drama. Here's the thing though, none of this matters. Keemstar will not care. We'll make a video responding, getting more attention to his channel, make thousands in ad revenue, and in a week from now, everyone will forget. It's meaningless. It's like a soap opera. Laughing my fucking ass off. Both Keem and Ethan are boners. So much debate going on about who's right, who's wrong, who's moral, who's winning. I actually haven't watched any of the videos in their entirety. I can't bring myself to care enough to watch. Young Crip says, this is the H3 Keemstar video in under 30 seconds.
Hey guys, here's a new video today. Did you guys know that the guy who's known for being kind of a piece of shit and having really shitty takes and is irresponsible with the way he presents, you know, the news is a bad person? Weird. Anyways, remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Willie Mac Show says, all the YouTubers are debating about Etika. Meanwhile, the YouTube comments are still shocked over the old guy. The only annoying thing about Keemstar H3 video is how we have to hear the Twitter/YouTube doctors about how it's right or wrong to include it. Chris Raygun says, so Ethan's video on Keemstar is out, and I find this genuinely fascinating. I also coincidentally made a critique video with a Safari theme that I'm still editing. Just an example of how easy it is for creators to genuinely come up with super similar ideas independently. Ethan replies to him by saying, I will never forgive you for ripping me off. Chris Raygun continues talking about this by saying, tons of conversation about exposed videos today, so I'll just say this. It's a lot harder to get rid of a parasite if you continue to feed it. Played Halo 2 this morning. Check out this awesome Killtacular I got on lockdown with just dual SMGs and a battle rifle.
Again, alright? Your Twitters, gone. Your fucking Twitches, gone. Your YouTube channel, gone. I am untouchable, but you are not. You've lost everything. You live with your mom and dad, alright? Live with your mom and dad and make no money, because every little outlet that you had to make a few bucks is shut down by me. And I'm gonna continue doing it over and over and over again, because I have something you don't have. I have friends that work at Twitter, friends that work at Twitch, friends that work at YouTube. I am fucking untouchable, but you are not.
H3 responds, awesome trick shot, man. Droppy says, no, nobody is friends with Keemstar. He's a leech whose manipulative behavior fools low self-esteem boys into thinking the kindness he shows them absolves him of all his heinous behavior. Yeah, you know, the real him. He's banking on you defending him now. Don't play the fool. Nicholas Diorio says, who would have thought 100k people needed to die to a pandemic virus for YouTube to return to 2016? Gold Glove TV says, so all those content creators who have been supporting/playing in Keemstar's tournament should have a lot to say about the recent H3 video, right? At some point you have to realize that the people who defend/support Keemstar are the same people who behave just like him. They don't care. They are all internet trolls who live to torture others for their own amusement. The sad part is just how many of these people exist. I Am a Wildcat responds to Gold by saying, I never played in a single Friday Fortnite for the sole reason of not wanting to associate with anything that man does. Fuck him. Goldie responds, he's human scum. This has been a known thing for years. People just don't seem to give a fuck because he's putting money into these tournaments. Drives me nuts. Chilled Chaos responds, the fact that he can throw money around and people suddenly forget how he's a garbage person is infuriating. Lil Borg tweets out, why am I still getting hate?
I don't understand why I'm still getting hate. Leafy, I was swatting him. Grade A, under A, I've released his picture to the world and I'm still getting hate. Yesterday, I uploaded a video about 15-year-old girls getting naked. I'm a fucking pedophile. And the video goes fucking viral. It is on the front page of fucking Reddit. That is fucking ridiculous. Why am I still getting hate? Why? Pyrocynical is a fucking pedophile.
Pyro was trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl from France. All right, that he was technically like a pedo.
Grade A under A is a fucking criminal. I was swatting him. Alex is a fucking Why am I still getting hate? Subscriber trust is everything. Fuck the fans. Why am I still getting hate? I proved them to be fucking Keemstar. Every single one of them. And I'm still getting hate. I'm beating my girlfriend. I do not deserve this hate. Keemstar. Swat it and harassed Basher.
Bake Hates It Here says, Keem and H3 calling each other snakes, versus Leafy just chilling knowing somehow he's the reason this is all happening. Bionic Pig says, Keem has always been a fucked up piece of shit. He meets people IRL and puts on the charm and makes them believe he's just putting on an act. Anyone who falls for that bullshit is just flat stupid. The man is awful, but once again, it will all blow over in a week. TwizFizz says, big YouTubers have a big argument.
Hey guys, Slimy Turd here, and today I thought we'd expose the YouTuber Massive Asshole for being, you'll never guess, a massive asshole. Oh my god! This just in! The YouTuber known as Massive Asshole has just been cancelled! Wait! That's me!
I can't believe Massive Asshole is actually a massive asshole!
Massive Asshole didn't care about my feelings.
Massive Asshole makes me so mad, I want to throw my cat.
Everyone stop bullying Massive Asshole! Anyone who defends Massive Asshole is just kinda stupid. No, everyone's bullying me! I'm just a nice old man and Massive Asshole was a massive asshole to me. You old man, you're nothing more than a clout chaser, and I'm going to expose you for the piece of shit you actually are.
Get that old man! Get him! Get him!
So like, Massive Asshole sucks, but Slimy Turd's videos suck balls, and like, not in a good way. Everyone's just an asshole here! I have a message for Slimy Turd! Fuck you! 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 Hey Massive Asshole, where did you feel at? It's right over! Yeah, that's right. It's gone. Oh shit! Slimy Turd is ruining this platform for all of us, and I'm not gonna rest until he's exposed. Like, I usually don't care about anything, but I actually care about this. Yeah, he can't do that. Also, you old man. You guys can't just turn on me. Massive Asshole is a murderer. Fake news! The only thing I'm killing is your career! Time for Massive Asshole to go down.
I will copy strike Massive Asshole.
Massive Asshole deserves everything he's got coming. How many times do I gotta teach you this lesson, old man? We're coming for the Spotify next. Watch out, Massive Asshole. This is far from over. You think you get the last laugh? No, you're not even laughing at all. Oh, this is gonna be a long week.
Colossal's Crazy says, I have successfully traveled back to 2016. Turkey Tom says, really loving how Ethan glossed over the fact that Smile for YouTube is a serial doxer and swatter who made people's lives hell when he was around, but instead just tried to paint him as the victim when he absolutely fucking deserved what he got. Leanad tweets out, why is nobody talking about the fact that the second example H3 used of Keem doxing was Smile for YouTube, a guy who is known for swatting multiple people including Keem. Obviously this doesn't justify Keem doxing him, but it's a pretty bad example to use to paint Keem as a bad guy. When Keem doxed him, Smile had been harassing him on his streams for months, spamming his dox in chat, spamming donations and charging them back, DDoSing him, etc. Again, this doesn't justify the dox, but it's an awful example to use as Keem's actions are very understandable. H3 really should have expanded on Just Destiny rather than including the segment on Smile for YouTube, or dragging on the RS Glory and Gold segment. He summarized a 2-month-long drama with hours of context behind it in 2 minutes. comments, and even got an important detail wrong. By the way, if you guys want to hear more about the Just Destiny situation, fully in depth like Leonad is saying right here, there is a 50-minute video that goes super in depth on it by Nicholas Diorio. I highly recommend checking it out if you're interested. Nick the Oreo, this is not the same person as Nick Diorio, the YouTuber, by the way. Anyways, he quote tweets Leonad and says, "This is Keemstar on Augie RFC's show, explaining why he doxed Smile for YouTube. Seems like important information to leave out, H3.
No.
Okay.
No, we're almost done. We'll get there.
Okay.
YouTube, he keeps doing this, right? And I basically turn off notifications and I get him banned, and I talk to Streamy and I get him IP banned on Streamy, right? So he makes new accounts, he makes new IPs, and then what he starts doing next is he starts swatting me, right? And then after swatting me doesn't work because I get swatted all the time and the cops know and it's not a big deal, right? Because that doesn't work, then he starts swatting my moderators. He starts DDoSing me.
Oh, that's really bad.
Moderators, harassing the fucking people, just a random person in my stream. He'll whisper them and like send them a thing, an IP grabber, where if they click on it, he gets their IP and he'll DDoS them. So if you went to my stream during this time, there was a chance that you could get DDoSed or swatted because of this motherfucker that was harassing me. This was going on for months, and I mean months. Like not 1 month, not 2 months, like 4 months of this fucking shit that we were doing.
I remember that.
So on my live stream, I'm like, you know what? We're going to catch this motherfucker. All right, let's figure out who this is. Because I had his PayPal name, right? So together, my moderators, the people in the chat, we are doxing this motherfucker live on stream to report him to the police. And many of the people that were victims in the chat, they did, once we fucking put together the information, reported him to the police, right?
Mm-hmm. Willie Mac Show tweets out, Keem got a story wrong by thinking the old man was a pedo. Ethan got a story wrong by saying Keem was platforming a murderer for no reason. If you think that's on the same level as Ethan's mistake, that's up to you. I think Ethan should correct the record at the very least. Fair? H3, please clarify? He damns Keem for platforming and monetizing a murderer's confession, which if you think that's morally scummy, fine. But Keem literally put in the work to catch this guy before the police did. Should Keem have uploaded the vid? Yeah, I think he deserves credit for it.
But I find it really disturbing that Keemstar, the day after this murder happened, was able to get this kid on his show, fully monetized. Keemstar cashed in big time on this whole ordeal. And I also, if I recall correctly, the interview brought to you by the SWAT murder was also sponsored by G Fuel. Use code Keem for 10% off of your life expectancy.
You swatted that address, correct?
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
so you swatted the address, you put in the fake hostage situation, correct?
Yep.
And then this guy gets killed.
That's what happened, I guess.
And do you take any responsibility for what happened?
I don't believe that I'm the only guilty party involved in this whole incident. You could point the finger at the cop who killed someone. You could point the finger at the guy who made the call. You could point the finger at the person who provided the address saying, oh, look, this is where I live. Go ahead and swat me. So
Isn't it wonderful that Keemstar is giving this murder the opportunity to place blame on others, totally uncontested?
Alinity tweets out, I swear, I've never encountered a more vile person in my life. The H3 video on Keemstar was spot on. He made so many claims about me with no proof. Made things a lot worse for me while I was receiving backlash. As someone who suffers from bipolar, I can relate so much to the suffering of Etika, and felt terribly sorry for what happened to him. Let's spread more kindness. People then criticize her for the comparison to Etika, and she responds to them by saying, this was me at 14. Yes, I am lying about mental health issues. Yep. LA-based comedian quote tweets her and says, no one is questioning your obvious mental disorders. They are criticizing the way you co-opted someone else's suicide to cancel Keemstar and promote your brand, which is one of competitive victimhood. Keemstar quote tweets Alindy and says, yeah, H3, I know you are freaking out seeing all these YouTubers' videos uploaded today calling you out, but just know you're not alone. You have Alinity on your side. Papa bless. Ricky Berwick says, that H3H3 video was such one-sided biased BS. It made me so angry. The funny thing is, all the sheep that watch it now are going hard on Keemstar on all his socials, hitting his sponsors and trying to cancel him. That's a yikes from me. It might be Anecdote Andy. But actually, Keemstar seems pretty cool when I met him. I met Keem a few months before this whole COVID thing kicked off. I got roped into watching my 3-month-old niece while my brother got his hair cut. So there I am, sitting in the waiting area of a barbershop with my niece. And who walks in but Keemstar himself? I was nervous as shit and just kept looking at him as he was sitting there with his phone and waited, but was too scared to say anything to him. Pretty soon my niece started crying, and I'm trying to quiet her down because I didn't want to bother him, but she wouldn't stop. Pretty soon he gets up and walks over. He started running his hands through her hair and asked what was wrong. I replied that she was probably hungry or something. So motherfucking Keemstar put down his phone, picked up my niece and lifted his shirt. He breastfed her right there in the middle of the barbershop. Chill guy, really nice about it. He then makes a slightly more serious tweet that says, Mr. Keemstar has helped me behind the scenes in many ways, and I can't thank him enough. But I'm going to meme the shit out of this situation. So let's get right into the news! Boogie2988 responds to him by saying, honestly, if you didn't shitpost this, I was gonna be disappointed in you. From this point onward, a bit of a trend from Keemstar's friends starts to form, where they make positive posts about Keemstar on their Twitter. The first one comes from Kid Behind the Camera who says, to my friend Keemstar.
Right now, and not many people defending him, so I want to put out a video just talking about the person that Keemstar has been in my life, because he is a really good friend to me and he's been there for me in more ways than I can begin to tell you guys. So I just want to take a second to not talk about all the good stuff that he's done, because he has done a lot of good stuff behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. They don't know about the good stuff Keemstar's done because, one, he doesn't talk about it, and two, maybe he doesn't want to ruin the illusion of people thinking that he's an asshole, because that's part of his character and the gimmick of Drama Alert, and not many people know how good of a person he actually is. I just want to tell a quick story. Not everything that he's done for me, because he's done a lot, but I want to tell a quick story. When my father passed away, Keemstar called me. He was one of the first people to call me, and he told me that he was sorry that my father passed away, and he was a legend, and if there was anything he could do, let him know. And of course, you're like, oh, of course, I'm fine. Thanks for calling. And I told him that I wasn't going to go to my own father's funeral. I wasn't going to go because I wasn't mentally prepared for that. And Keem kept telling me, Michael, you can't miss your father's funeral. You have to go to it. You're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And this is the kind of guy Keemstar is. To keep me from missing my own father's funeral, he came to it. He wasn't going to come to the funeral. You know, he's a busy man. He does a lot. But he took the first flight out the next morning to Charleston. And he came to the funeral just so I would go. So that's the kind of man that he is. I love Keemstar. And I'll defend him until the bitter cold end. whichever comes first.
Chipmunks tweets out, "Thanks, Keemstar."
Morning, everyone. I see a lot of people hating on Keemstar at the minute because of the H3 video. I'm not going to have an opinion on that. All my opinion on Keemstar is that he was always good to me. I worked for him for 4 years. The first 2 years, I didn't get paid. I did it because of my friend. He helped me out with shout-outs. He helped me get my channel back on YouTube. He also helped me get 11,000 subscribers in one day on a new channel to help me out. Another time, my little boy was born, and he gave me $2,000, which at the time was a month's wages. I didn't ask for it. He didn't say anything other than, check your paper. He's a good guy. I know he's not perfect. You show me someone who's perfect, and I'll show you a fucking liar. He's got a heart of gold, and he always had my back. Love you, Keem.
TwizFizz says, earlier this year when Keem visited Australia, he let me tag along with him and a bunch of big YouTubers, even though I was completely irrelevant. I didn't pay for anything, and he put me in a video. Most insane experience of my life, and I'll never forget it. Hashtag good guy Keem. Tipster says, in 2018, Keemstar helped my channel after some piece of shit troll kept flagging it and got me kicked from my MCN. Hashtag good guy Keem. But for real, Keem, stop doxing people. Shit is fucked up. Lol. Nicholas Diorio says, I've started to see the hashtag good guy Keem tweets start popping up on my feed with stories of all the nice things Keemstar has done for people. And well, this guy has not done a goddamn thing for me. If anything, he's actively been a pain in my ass. When it comes time to defend a point that I vehemently detest, I'm not going to be biased and just ignore it because of Keemstar. H3 made some good points, some bad points, and the Etika argument. The Etika argument was fucking dreadful, and I'm not backing down. FaZe Banks tweets out, Keemstar, H3H3, and Etika. Was gonna sit this one out, but fuck it. Honestly, it's fucking disgusting what Keemstar and H3's ongoing internet beef has amounted to. Etika is being used as a weapon, and I can't fucking stand how nobody seems to have an issue with that. To manipulate and cherry-pick facts under normal YouTube drama video circumstances is the standard. But to do it with Etika's suicide? Come the fuck on. At the end of the day, this fucking kid lost his life, and there's absolutely nothing to blame for that. It's a tragedy, and while we all wish we could have done more to prevent it, this is something that was completely out of any one person's control. It happened, it's horrible. The fact that Etika's family, mom and sister, are being shamed and attacked for not aiming blame at Keemstar just speaks to how twisted and fucked up this community can be. You guys are all so wrapped up in Keem versus H3 that it almost doesn't matter what it's doing to his family. Nobody stopped to consider if Etika would have wanted any of this, as I'm sure he wouldn't have. I can only speak to how I feel. But for the record, if I were to ever die, please for the love of fucking God don't use it as a slide in a YouTube expose video. It's all so fucked up. Like I said, this was nobody's fault. There is no one to blame. Let the fucking kid rest in peace. Keemstar replies by saying this, to which Fnatic Motor responds, aren't you part of the problem? Adam Sab13 says, the new Keemstar is on point. Hope he goes even harder on that scumbag H3 in the next one. H3 is the biggest self-righteous hypocrite on this platform. You deserve what you're about to get. Weaponizing Etika's death is a big no-no. Keemstar quote tweets this and says, trust me, Part 2 is where H3 fans see how they were lied to and used as a pawn, just like how he used Etika's tragic death. Road to Shaw tweets out, who out of Keem and H3 has the fattest ass do we reckon? Keemstar responds, I've been doing squats bro. Keemstar then tweets out, found the perfect hoodie to wear for the fuck Ethan Klein part 2. Ethan Klein then tweets out, call people pedos, frauds, rapists, con artists, assassinate their character, harass them to the point of suicide. Just don't mention their sponsor G Fuel. That is on their desk in every video. Optimus responds to this by saying, now that the rest of the community is echoing the sponsorship concerns, Ethan has suddenly stopped quote tweeting and is now having a tantrum on Twitter. Also love the sentence, harass them up to the point of suicide. Definitely didn't insinuate that he was responsible though. Nicholas Diorio and many others on Twitter then show the hypocrisy of what Ethan just said, showing showing a tweet he made earlier where he said, "I did not blame Keem for Etika's death. I think he just created an extremely toxic environment." And then the tweet where he says that Keemstar harassed someone up to the point of suicide. But then Ethan clarifies it by saying, "Suicide, I'm talking about Fuzi, not Etika, based on what he said for the record." Now, to me, that doesn't make sense because the way he worded that implied that Keemstar actually did harass someone up to the point of actually committing suicide, and as many of you guys know, Fuzi is still alive. Thank God. But you guys can interpret this in whatever way you feel like. Optimus responds to it by saying, "What a save, what a save, what a save." Net Nobody responds to him by saying, "Just couldn't help but say he was the cause of the suicide, lol. Makes the tweet more intense, lol." Lori responds, "Excusing someone for telling a mentally ill person to jump off a bridge when they just got out of a mental hospital and saying mental illness is fake and just to take 3 sips of beer to cure it." Net Nobody quote tweets her and says, "Pretty sure a lot of those clips and content knew Keemstar of Keem highlighting his radical views on mental illness were in debates with me, which I'm comfortable stating publicly, at least for my examples. He called me on the phone after and genuinely tried to understand." Keemstar responds to H3 by saying, "Swing, miss," showing that H3 did make fun of Fuzi in one of his podcast episodes. A little bit later, Ethan tweets out, "Anyone up for a new video today?" showing the thumbnail for a sequel video to Content Nuke called Nuclear Fallout. Hila replies to him by saying, "Yas, queen," to which Sky Williams replies, "There's no way that's real, lol. Holy. Say it ain't so, Hila." Ethan tweets out the video once it releases and captions the tweet by saying, "The nuke has made impact, but they say the fallout is even more damaging." iNabber responds to him by saying, "It really be 2016 though." iDubbbz responds to him by saying, "God damn it, there's a retard in the Pringles." H3 responds to him by saying, "What if I told you that the retard is on the outside of the Pringle?" Elvis the Alien responds by saying, "Good video." Sky Williams says, "I don't understand why people go for the hypocrisy angle. Being a hypocrite doesn't mean your message isn't valid. If I said smoking is bad for you and I smoke 9 packs a day, lol, I mean, I'm a hypocrite, but I'm also not wrong. Not saying H3 is a hypocrite, just my 2 cents. Jake responds to him by saying, "I just don't think pointing out clearly problematic behavior out to sponsors is a bad thing though. Being sponsored means you're a brand ambassador. G Fuel supporting Keem for so long through his disgusting garbage has made me view G Fuel negatively because of it." Sky Williams then watches the video and tweets out, "That new H3 video is holy shit. Lol. How's this shit gonna end?" Laughing my ass off. I actually don't know, but employing the Drake tact by making 2 videos back to back is something I never would have guessed. Not gonna lie, I'm extremely curious on how Keem is gonna respond to all this. Dunya says, "Justice has been served. I smell a grilled gnome." Jared Holt says, "H3 is far from perfect, but it is very assuring to see a channel with the kind of magnitude it has to come out swinging against YouTube's most loathsome cretins." Leafy decided to comment on all of this by saying, "Who wanna backstab someone?" He then tweets out, "Drama Alert Nation about to be Hiroshima new video soon. Hashtag World War Bombers, hashtag Ground Zero." Keemstar replies to him by saying, "Don't do this to me again? What the fuck?" Leafy responds, "Someone had to do it. Video up." And then he released his Content Hiroshima on Keemstar. It's a pretty funny video, I recommend you check it out. After all of this, Keemstar tweets out this Twitter video with the caption, "I'm okay. Thanks for asking."
Do you have any idea how fast I am? No, but guys, seriously, I figured I'd pull up the, whoa. Listen, everyone's been asking me if I'm okay. Trust me, I'm okay. But I was down, and when I'm down, I have to exercise. So since mental health has been kind of the theme of this, I figured I'd share with you. If you're down, exercise.
Leafy responds to him by saying, hashtag good guy Keem. To which Keem responds, "The real reason why I was running is there's a mushroom cloud behind me." Leafy responds, "Don't worry, Content Holocaust in works." Scarce tweets out, "The commentary community has come so far since 2016. I remember back then every time someone got exposed, most would just dogpile. Now people have differing views all over the place and call people out when they see BS on either side. A bit of nuance is refreshing." Obviously, the back and forth between Ethan and Keem didn't end there. Ethan tweeted out, "Can we all appreciate that this video of Keemstar literally slandering me is still on his channel? Will I need to involve lawyers too before he removes it?" Keemstar then tweets out, "The false allegations, character assassination, and manipulation of facts on my name right now has created a hate mob. This mob won't listen to the truth. Right now, anyone can make up any false allegation against me that will be instantly believed by the hate mob. Ethan responds to this by saying, "Zero self-awareness. Imagine the irony of this dude tweeting this. Holy shit." Ela quote tweets him and says, "Was this tweeted before or after taking 3 sips of beer?" Internet Unwind responds to Keem's tweet by saying, "This is painfully ironic, even in just the current feud. Keem, don't play victim. You don't get that option in the skill list. Lol." Tipster quote tweets Ethan's tweet and says, "The fact that H3 thinks he's any better than Keemstar goes to show how lacking in self-awareness he is in all of this. Y'all both on some bullshit right now." And that's about all I want to show you on the discussion between H3 and Keem at this moment. Obviously, this is not the end. There's a ton more discussion. And in the next video, I'm going to focus on the discussion surrounding H3 losing his Old Spice sponsor and Keemstar losing his G Fuel sponsor. So if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. And also follow me on Twitter to keep absolutely up to date with everything going on right now. Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel, in particular Josh Pescator and Furboy for donating $30.
Bye.